Welcome to Purple Nurple Reviews. My name is Sharon and I'm going to be reviewing all the different conventions that I've been to. First one on the list is MCM London. Now I've been to MCM the past 3 years in the autumn, so I've been to 2021, 2022 and 2023. So settle in and let's get going. Since 2021, I started going to conventions, so I'm actually relatively new in terms of convention going. If you're new as well, welcome. But I have been to 15 conventions in 2 years. My bank balance hates me for that, but hey, I've had a good time. My first convention was MCM in London. Now this is a huge event, and I would say for a first convention, it's quite overwhelming, it's quite big, you're going to be walking everywhere, and it's a different convention experience to a lot of other places. So I would suggest, if you want to use that as your first convention, just be warned that it's going to be huge and you're going to walk a lot. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the photo ops, autographs and also the panels, as well as the cosplay area. MCM photo ops. What can I say about it? First of all, the prices are a little bit more pricier than you would get at nearly every other convention I've been to. So London Film and Comic Con had the same Doctor Who actors a month apart, and London Film and Comic Con were charging £20, MCM were charging £35 for the same actor. So the only big difference really is the size of the photo. London Film and Comic Con had a smaller photo, MCM had a 10x8, so that's the main difference in terms of prices. They are a little bit pricier, but if you haven't seen an actress or an actor and you want to see them and it's local to you, then you're saving on travel fare. So if you see an actor that you want to see that they don't do many conventions, you want to go see them, you might just pay that. So I went to see Felicia Day at MCM this year in 2023. And I know she doesn't do many conventions in the UK, so I was like, well, okay, I'll just pay the money, because to get to another convention is going to cost more than the extra £20 that they would charge for her photo op if she went to another one. In terms of queuing for photos, it can get there's a bit of a crowd that goes around the photo op area during busy times, so just be aware of that. They do have a lovely screen though, that tells you when you can start queuing for photos. It's very organised in that way. I would say I would not panic. There's always people around to ask questions, so don't panic. You're probably not going to miss your photo op unless you're really late. Just keep checking the board and they'll tell you when to queue, and then they will call you forth to the photo op session. Once you're in the photo op session, it is literally quick. So be prepared. Before you go into the room, make sure you've got your makeup on if you want makeup, you've got your hair sorted, got your outfit sorted, any props that you're taking with you. Just be prepared before you enter into the area where the photographer and the celebrity is. And then it's usually you go up to them, you might say like, hi, I love you, blah, 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 and that's literally all you'll probably say. Or you might tell them, can we do this pose, like, holding a sonic screwdriver, can we point it at you or something. At MCM I got Felicia Day recently, and she was lovely. She was like, oh my god, I love your dress. I was like, oh, thank you so much. And then I hugged her and I was like, I got loads of photos of you at the panel, and then literally just, that was it. That was my interaction during the photo op. So you don't get much time, it's just in, out, and then you go round and you wait at the printing area and you get your photo within a few minutes at most. So it's quite good like that, the fact you get your photo pretty much straight away. And I actually do prefer that, because then you're not having to like wait around, or sometimes you might forget about your photo if you've not picked it up yet. You're like, oh wait, where's my photo? Not picked it up yet. So that's one good thing about the photo ops. So for MCM, I've actually never done autographs at MCM, partly because the price was a little bit more than it is elsewhere, and I'm not a big autograph hunter, so I only tend to get autographs when they're like in with my ticket, unless there's somebody I really want. As you can probably see from the video that I took, it's right next to the photo session, and they're all lined up against one wall at MCM, and I think some of them were in a different section, because I was thinking of getting a Felicia Day autograph, but then I couldn't even see her, so I think she was placed somewhere else. You can buy autographs there if there's still some available, or you can just buy them all online. I personally prefer buying all my stuff online beforehand, because then I know how much I'm spending. But it's not always possible with every single convention, and also sometimes you don't know if you're going to actually have time to do everything. You think you're going to have time to do all of this, but you're really not, because some of the queues can get really long. Panels, Q&A panels at MCM. I've been to a few of them. MCM is quite unique in the fact that it's got multiple Q&A areas. So it's got about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 different stages. I've been in the big massive hall at the Excel Centre for the Loki panel back in 2021. And that was my main reason for going for my first ever convention, was I wanted to see Tom Hiddleston and the Loki cast. So I went in there an hour beforehand and it was already busy. So they had other panels on throughout the day, but I went in there and I was like, holy crap, this is so busy already. So because I was by myself, I went to a convention by myself. That's what I tend to do. I found a seat nearer the front because people leave individual seats, and I'm like, seat taken. So I actually had a pretty decent seat for the Loki panel, but I would definitely recommend getting to panels 45 minutes, an hour before they start if you want a really good seat. It did fill up this massive auditorium, so if you're gonna be there, just make sure you get there on time. I know some conventions have paid for panels. I don't think MCM has paid for panels. I think they're all free from the experiences that I've had. I did go see the Smallville panel in 2022 and the Felicia Day panel in 2023 as well. The Smallville panel wasn't as busy, and it was in the main hall of MCM, so it was in the separate theatre that you had to walk a while to get to. It was in one of the main convention halls where all the stalls were, so that was the same with Felicia. In terms of photographing and video, when I was at MCM this year with Felicia Day, they sort of like, photos are fine, just no flash. If you want to take videos, just don't take anything longer than like a minute. So they won't allow you to record the whole panel if you wanted to do that, so that's just one thing to bear in mind. I did actually manage to record a few video bits, but I did see the security looking at me when I had my camera pointed in the direction of the stage, and I think he just realised I was taking photos at that point, so they do come around and check. But the panels are fun. They are all moderated, so they don't just go randomly ask questions, but they do have a line for you to ask questions for. So if you wanted to ask your favourite actor a question, just get in line early and hopefully you got there early enough to ask a question. I was actually second row for Felicia Day, so I've got some amazing photos of her. Because one thing I love to do at conventions is take photos of celebrities. I've got a new camera that I'm recording on now, the Canon R10. It's a mirrorless one and it's completely silent. If you want to take photos during panels, I would definitely have some etiquette to follow. First of all, turn off all the beeps. Nobody wants to hear beep beep trying to turn like your focus beep, or if you've got a phone, just turn off any beeps that there are, because that's very annoying. Second of all, don't do this. Don't put your camera up in the air. Maybe for like the occasional photo with your phone, but just don't like record like that and you block people behind you. If you want to take photos, try and get as close as you can, and then you can shoot through heads that way, because you sat down, you can usually get shots through people's heads, and if you've got a big zoom on your camera, then you can easily crop those heads out of frame. Right, getting to MCM. How do you do it? So I go to the one in London. There is one in Birmingham, but I'm talking about the Excel Centre in London. So you can either get the Elizabeth line or the DLR. You come out the station and you are greeted with queues, probably. Unless you're getting there really early in the morning. I went this year and I was a little bit later than planned, so it had already opened. So I got there and it was just queues, and then you have to go past the DLR station, and then all the way down you have to walk the entire length of the Excel Centre to get in. And then you've got this massive windy queue just to pick up your ticket. From my experience, if you don't want to get in those queues to get a ticket, have your tickets delivered at home if you can. So if you're buying them way in advance, try and get your tickets delivered at home, because then you've got your pass and you don't need to then join this queue. I think from the station to getting my pass, it was about a mile I walked, and half of that was queuing. It was like if anybody's ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon and they decided to have like massive windy long queues it was like that. And then when you enter, you're just hit with lots of people, props, you've got people in cosplay, you've got Daleks just randomly there. It's pretty amazing. And then you've got the two separate halls on either side, so you've got a walkway and then two separate halls. I would definitely go try and pick up a map if you can, or get the MCM app on your phone, which has all of the stages, it's all the times, it's got all the photo op times, it's got maps, it's got everything you'd ever need. I would recommend downloading the app. But yeah, stalls at MCM, they're the usual stalls that I see pretty much everywhere else. They are a lot more geared towards comic booky, anime. There are TV show related ones, but there's not as many of them as you would find at, say, Monopoly events or London Film and Comic Con, because MCM has a wider audience in terms of different types of comic book, anime. It just covers every single geek thing you can think about. So, but I'm not interested really in anime, so I just skip past those stalls, try and find the ones that are selling Supernatural, Doctor Who, Buffy, other things. So if you wanted to go there for TV show related things, I would say it's probably not the best one to go to, but I would suggest London Film and Comic Con if you wanted to buy lots of merchandise related to TV and film. Food. So the first time I went at MCM, I did take some snacks with me and some water. They didn't really, they check your bags, but they allow food and drinks and stuff in, but I don't think they allowed alcohol. But always check the FAQs on the website before you go, because they may change things. There are so many food places to eat, but in 2021, the queues for the food stalls were just absolutely huge. Like, it was just horrendous queues. They do have a seating area, but it always gets pretty busy, but you usually could find a seat. In 2021, I had a salad from one of the shops that are permanently there, and it was gross. Like, the lettuce looked like it had been there for a week. So I would recommend either bringing your own food if you don't want to queue, or just getting something that you know you're gonna like. Like, there's a Subway there and other things, burger places. This year in 2023, I went to one of the food stalls in the big main hall. I got a chicken katsu curry, and it was like £12–13, so it's not cheap. It's not as good as the wasabi katsu curry, but hey, it was filling, so at least I had food. That's one thing, do not forget to eat, otherwise you will just not have a good time. I always take snacks with me. I just have to sometimes just sit down somewhere, have a snack, and then get on with what I need to do. Cosplay. So MCM have this massive cosplay area, which is actually outside of the building. I've only been to this place once. The first time I went, I had no idea it was there. And the second time I went, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go outside and go to the cosplay section, because I saw all these photos after I was there in 2021, and I had no idea that even existed because I was new. I didn't look at the maps properly. I was too busy doing other things like the panel for Loki and going around the stalls. But it's absolutely humongous. There's people go into different sections, so you might have like some anime stuff there, like just like different animes. Then you got the boys, you had Marvel, DC. People kind of go into groups. They find the people that they're dressed as, and they kind of form groups between themselves. Because I love the boys, I went to the boys group and got loads of good photos, and it was pretty awesome. Trying to get back inside. That was a bit tricky. They didn't have any security there, and they actually eventually sent us round back to the front of the Excel Centre, so we had to go all the way back round and get in. So just be warned, if you do go outside, sometimes there's a queue to get back in the building because of bag checks. So how would I rate MCM? I think for me, MCM is probably one of my least favourite conventions, just because it's so big and busy and it just tires me out. I do like it for all the free stuff. So if you were on a budget and you wanted a good day out, just pay the entry fee, and you don't even have to pay for anything else in there, and you will still have a good time. Whereas other places like London Film and Comic Con, it doesn't really get you much, the entry fee. In all honesty, there's not really many props and stuff at London Film and Comic Con to pose with, but MCM, there's lots of different things. So you've got things like the TARDIS, you had like Mjolnir, and lots of other just, people on cosplay will pose with you. But MCM's good, but it's tiring. I would definitely put it up above London Film and Comic Con, but I don't think it'll go any higher than that compared to the other conventions that I've been to. I will probably still go to MCM just because it's convenient for me to get to, because I live in London and I don't have to spend lots of money on travel or hotels. So as long as they keep doing it in London, I will probably go at least once a year. Next time I'm going to be reviewing London Film and Comic Con, which is a convention I've been to twice. It was the second convention I'd ever been to. And I went there for the whole 3 days the first time. Was that a mistake? Was it good? Find out next time. Please like, comment and subscribe to my new channel. Everything helps. Any interaction will help. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And if you have any suggestions, or if you have any of your own experiences that you want to relate to in terms of the conventions that I'm talking about, please let me know in the comments and we can have a nice conversation about that, and maybe I will do videos that respond to some of those comments. See you next time.